What's up and welcome back, fellow Siege spectators and players. We are back, another installation of the Double Shot coming at you seasonal series style. I am the Reverend Whiskey Glitter. With me on the desk, as always, my partner and co-host, Mr. Whiskey Run.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Ubisoft seasonal series. It's the summer edition of the seasonal series, and man, there are just way too many S's there for us to keep up with it. This has been a very interesting setup so far. Probably the biggest or the most number of forfeits we have seen in a single league to this point forward. We've had 7 of 16 games have ended in a forfeit so far in the series. So there has not been nearly as much action happening between the teams as there has been up to this point. We certainly expected a little bit more. So we're going to show the bracket, but recognize that there's definitely a few teams that are there in the forfeit scenario. So
yeah, absolutely. It's been kind of a tough one run, right? Like some of the teams that were in that qualifier didn't quite get to go through, and it just doesn't feel good to see the team that beat you forfeit on out of there. Break it down for us, Ron. What do we got here?
yeah, that is definitely an unfortunate side effect. So we just got to watch DBYP play over on Cyano's stream, and they beat Mist. Now we're going to get to see Mist and QoR. QoR was going to play on our stream earlier at 6, but their game was a forfeit because the Space Tubes so far have been unable to field a roster. Undecided did play down at the bottom one game, but unfortunately they lost as well. So between Space Tubes, Undecided, and Overtake, they have not played very many games at all. The big names at the top, obviously, DBYP. Black Stallions was recently picked up as the SSG ACAD squad, so we're going to see them called out often. And then QoR on this stream, we're going to see them play Mist, the 3rd and 4th spots, both currently sitting at 2 and 1, looking to break the tie right now.
Yeah, and we've got one for you. Orgless taking on Mist. You called it. Couple of names you know and love on this. The Ex-QoR roster, Inrio, Spiff, Focal, Rival, and Franklin. They have proved very dominant in the scene, conquering multiple tournaments. And then on the other side of it, Mist Esports. We've been watching them, and they've been fun. Didn't have a great showing on that last map, but, we're just getting started for the day, and with some of those stops and goes, it could be a little tough. Yumsy, Cadence, Flexo, Obsession, and West looking to fill out that roster.
Yeah, and this Ex-QoR roster, Orgless, in the final for the SGC Proving Grounds. We're going to see them on next Monday play that big grand final game for a $4,000 prize pool. But before they get to that point, they're going to play the seasonal series, and you said it, versus Mist. Now, the map bans came down to a pair of maps that we love, Bank and Clubhouse, all the way at the end, and Mist just lost on Bank to the Don Beto team. Didn't want to have a repeat because QoR is also very good at this map. So it came down to Banking Club, and they picked Club to play it out. And just want to say one more time, love this Orgless team for banning Khan and Sky to start.
Certified Con and Skyscraper hater in the chat, folks. But yeah, so we had the Clubhouse, and what a map to try to claw your way back on if you're Mist Esports. You had a tough one in the beginning. Now you go to that textbook map where you just got to hold the defaults. We'll see if it plays out. Run. I mean, it's another best of one here in the round 4, so it's a sprint to the end here.
Now, and a note on the format too, it's a double round robin. So next weekend we also have all of the same teams playing. These 8 teams are going to play out again to decide who the top 6 are to go into that single elimination bracket. But it is time for Clubhouse, my friend.
That's right. Okay, taking us on to Clubhouse. You've heard us say it before. This is a map that everybody has played. It's got its defaults, but with this new banning system in place, you can choose to go defaults, or you can even get a little bit cheeky with those target bans. A lot of times we're seeing the great divide between taking the hard breaches off the board and dealing with those just oppressive shields. We'll see how it plays out for this first one. It is going to start out with a hard breach. Thermite's going to be taken off the board, and then on the other side of it, Tubarao. And not a bad pick, right? Really a great operator in the pace setting capabilities. Not going to be seen for this one.
Yeah, and really a bit of the breach denial as well. I mean, he's one of those that adds a little bit extra beyond just straight breach denial or breach delay, if you want to call it that. And they go for the bandit next, so they are making sure that this Orgless team is going to have difficulty trying to defend some of those breaches, allowing them to open up the sight lines. And interestingly enough, Orgless answered back with the thermite and the Hibana band, so gonna make it difficult for the attackers to try and open it up. Here it is though, down in the basement to start off. Gonna leave the ace available, and we've been talking so much about the can openers as a piece of attacker utility. Gonna see whether or not they switch into that to make sure they get all these hatches open.
Yep, on the defensive side of it, I was going to say it makes sense to go down to the basement because we didn't take the Cade off the board. We still have the Mira available, but Orgless going to opt for neither one of those, and they're just going to run straight into the area denial. Bring out the smoke, bring out the Goyo, deny that intel, and then hold it on with Inrio bringing on the Azami, the Architect, to really just hold on to that dirt area and force your hand on blue. So, a pretty nice setup out of the defense. You talk about those can openers. There's going to bring plenty to the board here as Grim and Capitao going to be utilized. And, of course, the recruit striker being put out as well. So they're going to get these walls open, or these hatches open.
Absolutely, for sure they're going to be open. But look at this defensive stance that QoR has shown here, or Orgless has shown here to start off with. Spawn peeking both of the outside doors facing that warehouse side of the map. Garage, but they had a drone on the garage player, so they were able to take a little bit of a step back and make sure that they didn't put themselves in danger. So Inrio is still playing tight on the secret stairs and also took a couple shots, opened up that window just to give this missed Esports team a little bit of a pause as they approach the building.
Yeah, well, plenty of pause run. If we just to highlight here, we've got 3 players holding up onto the second floor. And so that begs the question, yes, from the attack, do we just go a little bit more sight direct? Because you take 1 or 2 gunfights, you put yourself in a pretty advantageous position. Specifically, it's Franklin, the only one down there. But the first thing is you can't die to the vertical. Focal's gonna find that first kill, and he's gonna still remain kind of unscathed. A little bit of damage and force him back into strip, where he can be isolated now, unless some of those homies start dropping for the hatch.
That was an insane siege timing scenario there. Flexo goes and sets off the the lion scan, but Focal was sitting right there looking at him through the bathroom door and fries him as he's in the animation. So unfortunate. They the Mist, I think, got the lion scan off, but didn't really pick up any intel from it. And then Focal has been able to survive and just continue playing over on the strip side. If you take a look at those blue outlines, really no huge pressure. They're focusing very much over on the kitchen side of the map. They have not really tried to push him out of position, which could come back to bite them.
Yeah, almost definitely could. It's, in fact, here you see he's heading down the stairs, puts himself back up onto the 2-up, but they finally are going to suss him out. Right? You can't be allowed to just walk around. That's going to equalize on the body balance here with 40 seconds left. Now starting to get those hatches opened up, a little bit of vertical pressure starting to be pushed in here on Moto, and they're going to get some drones in, which means now a little bit of attention to trying to push them out of Moto, push them off that wall so they can get themselves set up for an execute. 24 seconds now as it counts down, and a couple of shots from main. Spiff's going to find Obsession off the board, and that's going to be the main advantage into the hands of the defense. 17 as it counts down, and just kind of stymied here. They've got the intel on where exactly going to be pushing from. That's going to be the drop down the hatch. Rival's going to find one, Spiff finds another, and then it's going to be Inrio to clean it up as takes the head off of West.
Well, you called that out early during that ban phase, and right at the start of round 1. Orgless and Inrio playing the Azami, called in out, holding down into that corner of the arsenal, holding onto dirt, and that's absolutely where the final kill came. The attacker trapped behind the Azami Kiba barrier, and then was the last guy to enter the site. The smoke, that destructible element or destructible ingredient in the map, sort of provided a little bit of cover, a little bit of distraction, and walked right into the barrel there to finish it off. So great shot there from the Orgless team, and Mist They had the collapse at 40 seconds left, were ready for the execute, but it seemed like it was way too serial. Not enough action happening in parallel. No dual pushes on any of those positions, so they will be picked off one by one by the Orgless team.
So, adaptation, we're going to see what they bring up to the second floor now, because still got a whole slew of folks that are going to be difficult to deal with, including the new operator, Denari, with bringing out those trip connectors, making it just exceedingly difficult, because you can put those genuinely very far away. It'll get tough to get it with that impact EMP. The recharge on it is very quick, so even just getting your drone through it might not give you the amount of time that you're really hoping for. Couple that with the castle run, we're bringing out the Mira and a full extension over the caption CCTV. Orgless is compy, you gotta know that.
Yeah, for sure. One of the top T2 teams in Siege right now, waiting for their opportunity to fight in Challenger Series as soon as it comes up again. So this is the team to be watching for sure, and you said it. Huge extension over on the Cash CC side, blocked by the breach denial of Focal and the K, just holding on to that spot. Even though Yumzy and the Blackbeard has made a little bit of garage push at this time, they have intel on where he's playing, really unaffected, and the downtown C4 comes out, but no way. How did he survive that?
Yeah, great crossfire. Well, I mean, it's a shield. He blocked the damage. No shrapnel coming my way. Then he gets shot from the highway window, spiff to answer back. So when the dust settles, the man advantage has been equalized, both sitting at 4-piece. Still holding on to that critical push point, right? Next step, gotta force this player off red. Grenade goes just a bit too far, and that's going to finally get the job done here. He's going to force him back into the Cash CCTV. But this is not just extended to Cash. It's extended down below as well. The castle really facilitating that hold, that vertical position, really just denying all of this space right now, Run. We've got 1 minute and 37 left. Miss is going to find themselves in another situation where they're trying to plant at 30 seconds and don't know where I have all the information to get it done.
Wow, look at this Blackbeard pushing in. They had red stairs sort of blocked off there, using the Kiba barriers to block it, and I was going to say, this is wasting a ton of time. Orgless completely set up like this was a Cash CC hold with just as much utility over on that side of the map, and it seemed like Mist was sort of playing into it, forcing themselves to fight rather than take the fight over onto the highway, over onto the Jacuzzi side as the option to sort of distract and make all of that utility useless over on the other side of the map. But they fought it, and both of the teams showing worse for the wear. 2-2 with that final 50 seconds left.
Okay, so here you go. Spearhead still into the hands of Yumzy as he's bringing along that Blackbeard. Start to make their way into Logi. Opened up the hatch. Now double push can put some pressure onto it, but Rival's going to take Flexo off the ground. Off the board. He does get traded, though. Franklin goes down, so now into a 1v1. A shield versus the deployable shields, the Kiba barrier. So 22 seconds. Has to try to figure out where he's at. Has an idea, but his idea was wrong.
Yeah, he should not have. I don't know that he should have gone for the confirmed there on Franklin, who was down, gave his position away, and then turned his back immediately to Rival. And he does not fail to take advantage of that mistake. And so far, Orgless picks up a double now. It is primary, secondary site on Clubhouse, defensive sided, certainly not unexpected. So we're going to see the... it's hard to call Cash CC a tertiary at this point because it certainly is a site that we see teams play on a primary basis. And from the way that Orgless held this site initially for a gym bedroom side, I think they got this thing on lockdown.
Yeah. I mean, you can expect to see some of the same operators we brought for that gym bedroom, right? Castle's going to be out here again, holding down into Swamp, making sure that you can't claim that vertical, especially because Mist is bringing along that buck. He's looking to push those players out of those critical push points. A little bit of area denial, and of course, Rival going to hold up onto the catwalk and stop any of that potential shield pressure. Just like they brought on the last one. So, need to see an adaptation out of Mist, right? They struggled with pushing those 3 players out of position this last time. What do you do differently? Well, they're going to bring the Monty this time instead of the Blackbeard. They're going to bring a little bit of fire, a little bit of smoke, and of course, we're going to see the new operator still on the board. So, can openers, Ace, they're going to try to open everything up.
That was interesting. Spiff, rather than locking down those garage walls, opened up all the feed holes downstairs, make it a little bit more difficult for Mist to try and gain a bit of a foothold to try and push Rival out of that Raptors position. So we'll see whether or not that pays off. You got to have somebody down in that swamp area to sort of be able to take advantage of it. But look at that. Playing exactly in the spot, looking for those sight lines, looking for somebody to stick their toes out from the bottom of that wall, and Cadence is close. Looked like he was possibly going to do it, and you can hear the shots there from Spiff going off.
Okay, so Monty's starting to make his way in, his presence. Get a little bit of that intel. Rival not revealing much here, although he sits in the default. A little bit of help now from the home. Castle starts to get involved in this engagement. Trying to clear him out. They're going to get some fire, but it's just not going to be enough. You got to close him in with both, or he's just going to keep on moving. There's the second one to ring out, and he does put himself into some danger, but unfortunate. Mismanaged fire there is going to allow Rival to just remain deathless here within a minute and 30 still left onto the board.
That was tragic and unfortunate turn of events there for Obsession. He had the right idea. They used the right strategy there to try and push Rival or take him down from holding the rafters area, but you said it, the smoke's too far apart. That was unfortunate. So Franklin over here on the flank, taking a couple of shots, but no, just distracts. He doesn't need to kill anybody at this point. He just needed to distract them. But that right there may be the turning point in this round. Yumzy and the Monty goes down as the opening pick.
Yeah, your spearhead is done and dusted, and now puts us into a 5-4 with less than 60 to go. No, gonna need something a little bit special, something to trade it back, and it's not gonna be Inrio with a shotgun. Unfortunately for you, finds a second. Inrio just going absolutely crazy, gets on the window.
No way!
Another, but it's gonna be Rival and Focal to claim that one. Or Franklin, excuse me.
Again, just distraction upstairs, the shotgun poking his head right in, taking the shots out on the window, and then you said it, Franklin comes in off the side and finishes the attacker off, and Orgless goes a perfect 3-0 to start the round rotate done. The big question in the ban phase, I gotta believe that the Orgless side, they're gonna ban one of the shields, but I missed, man. Azami, Mute. Okay, Zombie's going to be the one. I was going to say, there's a couple good options that the Orgless team was very good with that really caused them some problems. But I think Inrio on the Azami was just too good. I think that's a great ban for them.
Honestly, yeah. Now you've lost your hard breach, and it isn't quite the death sentence that it once was now that everybody's bringing along those can openers. So, yeah, get some of that pace-setting capabilities off the board, and you might have yourself a little bit better of a chance. We got to get a little bit better on the time, right? They had the Azami dead to rights. It was a easy kill, but that push from Castle forced him to get back off the doorway, and he just wasn't able to complete it. So a little bit more coordination going to be needed if they're wanting to find their first one.
We saw Spiff play Denari a couple times and still running the Scorpion on the Ella, so just favoring the gun at this point. But it was interesting, not really a lot of opportunity there for the Denari to make a big impact. I was wondering how that might play out, whether or not it was going to be an important factor, but team still working on trying to find what's the right place for Denari and his gadgets to affect the gameplay so far. And they're going to switch off of it, leave him off the board here for another basement run. We saw this back on round 1. And the Azami was a part of it, holding down that dirt side, so no longer a part of the defense. We'll see if this changes things for Mist attack.
Okay. A little bit of a lurk down below here as Finka not going to be caught off guard again this time with that position onto the first floor, but they're there. Focal's here to put up a fight. Line ping goes off, not going to move. Still in the relative safety of the unknown. Now starting to push up. A Predator, he hears the drone. He's going to take it down and make himself a bit of a rotate. He's going to put a little bit of ghost pressure here onto the attacking team, not exactly knowing where anybody is currently at. Nobody up on the top floor this time.
I think that was all of the drones there, Focal. That's it. That was the big piece that we just saw. He picked off 2 drones, and it looked like the final 2 there for Mist. So they're not going to have any attacker intel aside from, I was going to say, the Lion scan. Just as Obsession goes down, he's able to trade it with Rival, but I think that is really going to put a bit of a hindrance here on this Mist Esports attack, not having any extra intel. So they're going to be fighting this basement without anything.
Well, that might be a bit of a bug there, Run. They were talking about it on the Pro League stream yesterday. Sometimes the drones, for whatever reason, you can't scan the enemy, and it shows that you have less than you did while you saw that one pop out there. So might still have some intel on the board. Whether they're going to use it or not will be the bigger question.
All right, well, that makes me feel at least a little bit better for this Mist attack. They need to find, you know, 4-2 split is where you want to end up, but so far it feels a little bit uncoordinated at this point. They're tied up in the man count, 4-4 here, with this final minute of the gameplay ticking down, but just a little bit of a push on the stairs, sort of a lot of action happening over on the stage side. Doesn't feel like they've really gained control over top of Armory. They haven't opened up a ton of the vertical, so they're working like with half a deck at this point. And with 45 left, this final execute needs to happen now.
All right. Fires start to ring out as the Goyo canisters get taken down. Everybody at a bit of a standstill as the last 30 seconds going to start to count down. You talked about it. A move needs to be made here. That final push, everybody trying to get into place, and that's Smoke is going to solidify the push in, and he's going to get taken down. Inrio able to find one. Inrio not good for 2, and it just falls apart.
That right there felt like the lack of intel. Inrio is playing in Moto. The hatch, I'm not sure if the hatch was open. I don't think it was. And Blackbeard pushed up and turned his back to the Moto door, completely exposing it and allowing Inrio to just clear him off. They did not realize they had a Cade playing in Moto, blocking that thing off. Just unfortunate there. A little bit of a, whether it was a misdrone or lack of intel, Orgless capitalizing on the Mist Esports mistake. So now is the time to step up, fellas. It is time. We have seen you win. We've seen you play. A couple of names that you know and love from this Mist Esports side. A little combination of a U.S. and Mexico team here put together for the Ubisoft seasonal series. I see them trying to pick up more than one round here on their attack side before they can go maybe to the easier side on defense.
Oh, a nice highlight here by the Observer. That just isn't on the ground. That is in the ground, making it nigh impossible for a Twitch drone to get in and get it done. Now, there's plenty of ways, right? They're affected by the impact EMPs. Bravo could grab, well, Bravo probably couldn't grab that one specifically, but Bravo can grab them. Explosions to take them off board, or you can just do it the old-fashioned way and run through that dang thing. But look at your debuff when it starts to come down to it. Mira and Castle on the board, meaning that couple with Denari is going to be slow down city, my friend. They aren't trying to let you in even a little bit.
Yeah, throw in 7 of those trip connectors in play, and Spiff and the Denari going to hold off a little bit as well. So they're certainly making entrance difficult. Now, look at this extra intel that they set up on, or extra utilities set up on this main wall. The Cade, the mirror window, they're able to open up it from the bottom, but it makes it difficult. He's got to be upside down rappel, watching, waiting, and in danger as he tries to put some pressure there, open up that main wall.
Yeah, and the pressure on red is what stymied them last time they tried to get into the gym bedroom area. So it's either going to have to be a little bit of a redirect, or you just got to get in there and take space, right? Now they open up the mirror. It's going to be a little bit more difficult to get some of those hard breaches close. Look at this. He's playing active. He's playing aggressive. Sledge is going to start to push in, opting for the L85. Got to be honest with you, Flexo, you're not on tech right now. It's the shoddy Reaper combo that's sending them through the moon. Comfort pick of the L85, going to try to claim that first contest.
Oh, and he does bring along a pair of nades, too. So that was 6 that they brought along, plus the 2 can openers. So the problem is that both of those main breaches going to be closed, but, man, Focal, what a shot. Well caught by the Observer. Thanks for that one, unnamed.
Oh, but it doesn't matter. They lose 2. They send out the Sense Gadgets, and we're going to go ahead and stick it off the chassis. West able to find one, but gets taken back in return. They didn't get the hard breach open, so it's not going to be easy to support it. Now it's going to be Yumsy the last alive, but Spiff don't whiff. Jumps out and claims him.
What a crazy turn of events. We go from having the diffuser is looked like it was about 90% down, and then the attack completely falls apart there as Orgless collapses on it. It's almost like Mist is just getting close to that objective, gets complacent, and then Orgless just capitalizes on, I don't know if it's a moment of hesitation, or just well coordinated on the Orgless side, where they collapse on the execute as it's happening. We've seen that 3 of the 4 rounds at this point where it looks like it gets close and then falls apart in quick succession. So they have got to be better at holding on. I mean, obviously getting a little bit of a body balance benefit early on would be helpful, so that way they can put some individual pressure, take a 2v1 scenario, force Orgless into an uncomfortable spot. But to go down 5 to start off with this, my friend, what is our last game of the day, since the first was a forfeit, Orgless is looking to put it away in 7-0 fashion, and Mist really needs to step this up if we're going to watch any more Siege today.
Yeah, dang it. I hate when you say it like that, Run. I guess win con if you're talking about it for Mist. Run says to stay alive, and that's a good point. That's a pro tip. If you're alive, you can win potentially more. But I think the big win con for me is going to have to be dealing with Spiff, right? And since they're on the Tersh side now, does mean that he's going to be playing in that swamp area, holding down the vertical. It was what stymied the Capitao last time, trying to push Azami off of it. They don't have her this time, so a potential to take the Raptors a little bit easier is for sure there. Mirror gets opened up now to put some pressure on the Maverick, who now, since that recent update Run, you don't take damage from the electricity. Still slows you down. It's still difficult, but a little less salty when you're getting on there.
Yeah, but I don't know whether or not he was able to fully open up the bottom half of that wall, so that is definitely unfortunate because, you know, Wes playing the map, doing his job there, trying to open up that wall, but the mirror window in the middle of the breach is really going to make that tough. So we're seeing the drones come out this time, gaining a little bit of this attacker intel. They identify where Focal's playing. He's been sort of all over the map at this point, being a thorn in their side. And there it is. Finally, an opening pick from this Mist Esports team as Rival goes down, and that's the Doc. So none of that extra health boost available now to this team.
Jesus.
But no way.
Spiff's able to find one, but it does get taken back. So now the win con has been met, and you claimed the body balance, and Mist, you've got plenty of time. Now let's get some drones in. Let's suss out these last few defenders. Got to try to bait out these 2 C4s and the 3 smokes. So it still gives me a little pause here that we're taking our time here. Now, Focal is extended, meaning you've only got 2 playing close even to sight. So the chance to act is now.
Yeah, Focal is the guy that they're going to have to watch out for, holding down bar right now in this potential flank scenario. So they're watching carefully here on the secret side. They know, and man, there it is.
I don't think they do know then.
They did not know where Focal was. It looked like the defenders knew that Obsession was holding down on secret, and he manages to catch one, but, you know, still sitting at 3-2, 35 seconds left now.
Oh, man, it just gets absolutely snuck up on. Yumsy with a shot. The last alive starting to go for the plan. A C4 is going to ring out. Not going to claim anybody just yet. And now find ourselves in a post plan. Mist Esports' best opportunity to claim the round. A slow walk up red. We see a few gunfights in the prone position. And Obsession, I think, is that good for 4 run?
I think it was either a 3K or a 4K. Someone's going to have to clip that one and tell us, but that was what we needed to see from Mist. The claw back to make it at least a 5-1 scenario at this point. Great job there with picking out some of the opening kills. There was some 50-50 shots that Orgless could have certainly won, but Mist Esports came up in the right spot and forced a couple 2v1 scenarios, taking down the Orgless player. That's exactly what we needed from them. Distractions all over the place, so that one worked. Now they get to go on the favorable half here for Clubhouse, going on the defense, and the shield and the Cade gonna come out. So sort of flip-flopping strategies at this point, with Mist not wanting to deal with that Blackbeard, and honestly, that's a good call. Franklin has been a demon on shields in general, so taking the Blackbeard away makes that a little bit more difficult.
I like it. They're going to double up on shield duty and taking away your two primary basement defenders, right? Orgless didn't even run on the Cade or the Mira downstairs when they had the opportunity to. But in this case, they don't want to play against it. So both of them off the board. Great picks means we're going to see Gym Bedroom as the start, and it's going to be double Architect duty. We're bringing out the Castle. We're bringing out the Azami. And they're going to try to slow this Orgless team down. That's one thing we know, right? Orgless is about to get very aggro.
Now, I know there was some questions in the chat about the format and when some things are happening, so this has been one that I don't want to say difficult to try and figure out, but there's the information is on Challenger mode about the seasonal series. The top 8 players from the qualifiers made it into Phase 2, and we are currently in Phase 2, which is a double round robin that takes place over 3 weekends. This weekend, next weekend, and the following, to make sure that we get all of the double round robin games in. And then the top 6 move on to a single elimination, which takes place over a weekend. And then the following weekend is the finals. So it's a little bit extended. You know, the summer series is turning into the late, very, very late summer series here as we get into September and October before this finishes up. But this is a new one for Ubisoft, a new a setup for this tournament. They had never tried one in this format before, so it's been interesting. Really, the biggest piece is we've seen the forfeits there from some of the teams that did make the qualification. So we'd love to see some of the teams stick together and hold together just a little bit longer next time around.
All right, so Castle on the board. You saw, chat, that he bringing out the melees onto it, 8 pieces to be 1 away. So that is a prepped castle door, meaning it only takes 1 hit to jump in and surprise the person jumping in to the gym bedroom area. So a nice little play there. They've got the Fenrir that they still got to deal with. He's rocking the MP7, and he's got gadgets active, and they are extended, not quite as huge as the extension was on the Orgless side, but extended nonetheless. Looking towards defense,
missed
ready to take
opportunity.
a couple of shots, and that's tough, and he pays for it. Spiff goes down. So now find ourselves equalized on the number balance.
Honestly, that was great. I thought for sure that the missed defender was going to lose that battle after taking down Flexo. That they were going to lose that battle out in the entrance to garage. But man, just sort of a little bit of a back and forth, and Obsession picks up a double. Now he's sitting at 8 and 5. So the kill leader on this team, I don't want to say win con at this point because they are way behind in the round count. But that is the plant going down. They've got to stop this right now.
Yeah, and they're not going to be able to. Focus on tech with the Ying Shotty. He's going to be holed up into the bathroom. Inrio is able to section off the board in a post-plant scenario. It's a 1v2, and it is going to be the Ying Shotty to claim him. I love the new Reaper tech, right? Bring the Shotties, Ying, Sledge. That feels good. That feels fun.
Oh, well, all right. If you are a missed Esports fan, I can tell you what does not feel good is match point scenario here for round 4. Round 3 was supposed to be a undecided versus Orgless game. We talked about it, undecided, FF that one. So round 4, the final game for today. Orgless right now dominating Mist in a 6-1 fashion. So it is a double round robin. We've got games all next weekend and the following as well. We will be here back 6 p.m. on Saturday to get that one off. But Mist Esports not done yet. Let's go, guys. Show us what you got. Extend Clubhouse 1 more round. They got to be perfect for 5, though, to send it to OT.
Yeah, it's a tough hill to climb. A unicorn in this run, but it can happen. We're looking at that reverse sweep right now. Just got to find a little bit of momentum. And defense on Clubhouse, that's a place that you can find it, right? They're switching things up a little bit. Double down on the area denial, provide themselves with a little intel as the Valk cams are coming out. And I think the highlight here is going to be who you called the win con. Obsession bringing out the Scopos, a potential to be across the map
in position.
faster than Oryx can, my friend.
Yeah, that's true. And this is the question. Where is they going to set up the idle shell? Downstairs in the basement, upstairs on the second floor? Are they looking for flank, or are they looking to be able to return to site very quickly? So you can see, yeah, the observers thinking the same thing we are. Where is Obsession and that Scopo's going to play, setting up on the red stairs here to start? And Caden's honestly, you know, taking a pretty aggressive defensive stance as well, holding on way over on the strip side, just like we saw from Orgless when they were on their defensive half. So they're not playing it conservative. They want to win this, and they just got to be careful about being over-aggressive.
Yeah, Obsession just absolutely hunted down. They all collapsed upon him, and that's going to be the roam game just about decimated. Now, Valkyrie going to be the last person to deny that first floor space. Body balance sits into the hands of Orgless now. So they're looking to solidify themselves their round 4 win. Deimos ping is going to go out. It's going to reveal the Goyo. Knows that he's downstairs, so I can keep searching. Flexo does rotate up to the first floor run, so a little bit of the buddy system in play, but he gets sussed out by the drone, which means now he's got to get back down to site in a hurry, or they're going to put the pressure on just like they did to the Scopos.
Yeah, that's certainly something that Orgless is very good at, managing the intel, acting upon it, and we saw that with, you said it, the Scopos getting cleared. So Caden's still alive over on the strip side. I don't know whether or not Rival knows. He's got 2 more of those Deimos pings available, so whether or not that's going to be the operator that they tag and try and locate at this point is the big question. They're hunting her anyway.
Yeah, they start to make their way to this strip. Caden's able to find Focal.
Wow, what a legend!
Now, yeah, Spiff up onto the double kill as he's able to take Yumsy off the board. The numbers get equalized, and now Valk not dealt with. Still going to be that impact potential player. Fusers in hand, they're going to get the hatches open and take a little bit of not worrying about it for a moment, but that could prove to be a problem as West is going to take down Spiff, and that was the previously mentioned win con here for Mist Esports. So a couple of shots towards Kitchen. Flexo going to take Franklin. Flexo good for 2. They're going to claim another run.
Wow, huge. We called them out at the beginning of this round that this was their time to step it up. The defensive stronghold in the basement shows up and does not get knocked down or knocked back. They win 1 on their quest here for overtime. Orgless still on match point here in round 4. It is a best of 1 if you're just joining us. Welcome, everyone, to the Ubisoft Siege X Seasonal Series. Mist Esports here struggling to gain their footing on Clubhouse, but they picked up a round now. Cash CCTV, the next place and potential final place we do battle, unless Mist Esports can come up with another big defensive hold.
Attackers test on the Tersh run. Who are they bringing to the table to do it? Kind of a similar lineup, and I think it's just a good call. Sans the Mira, of course. They can't use it, banned out already. So if they survive another one of these will definitely get taken off, right? The Azami or the Castle next, because they're just being instrumental in slowing down Orgless as they're trying to find those picks, funneling them into the locations that are disadvantageous. They're going to try to do the same thing again here. It'd probably be a similar setup with that extension down below into the swamp area. But instead of the footholes on Garage, we're going to go ahead and barricade that whole thing up. Not wanting to risk.
5 seconds remaining.
It's more of a standard setup anyway at this point. So you said it, with West playing the Bandit. Now, the Mute Jammers, we've seen some interesting Mute Jammers, you know, playing up on top of the rafters to prevent those Franklin's can openers, to try and open up some of the sight lines there to protect Flexo in the top garage. So we'll see whether or not they use that as the strategy. But look at this, opening up. You can hear, yeah, the Mute Jammer come out, waiting for the C4. He knows it's coming.
Yeah, looking for it. Now they're going to take a couple of shots. Oh man, it gets
wow.
Open. Pressure put onto West, now backed off. Doesn't have a chance to hold on to that part of that wall any longer. A couple of other holes getting opened up to apply a little pressure towards that red hold. They get the bandits off the board, and now it's back to business as usual here for Orgless.
Yeah, Orgless done the big piece of the work there, making sure that they have that main breach open. So Mav did his job, waiting for the C4, dodged it, and it felt like Mist didn't want to take the extra chance there to waste the C4. I thought they might have been able to get some advantage out of it, but they did not. So now Franklin, Rival, opening up the sight lines they need to be able to spray a little bit of that fire. But look at Obsession holding downstairs in oil. Man, I love this, but this is a rank strat. You don't see it very often in comp.
That's right, and might have been droned out by Franklin as well. You saw that drone get down there. Potential to know, take those couple of shots on him could be devastating. Oh, this is only going to get the down onto Focal. He's going to be recoverable, but you talk about rank strats, that was one right absolutely there, and now some fire damage down below onto Franklin, who got himself a little bit with that one. That's a little bit tough. Run, I don't know if they do know. I don't know if he did get droned down here. In fact, I'd go ahead and say he didn't. His Obsession is able to take Franklin off the board. It was his drone that was down there taking a look. So unfortunate as the Siege poetry rings out. Body balance still does sit into the hands of Orgless as they're trying to tie this one up. Run is now into a 2v4, but it's only 45 seconds.
Oh no!
If you can hold on, if you can get a kill onto this Maverick, maybe onto Focal, you might find yourself in a position to deny the rest of the time. 35 as it starts to count down. The last hope here, a C4 to ring out, but nobody putting the pressure on just yet because Orgless knows they don't have to win it right here. They've got several other rounds in which they can get that job done, but they're going to go ahead and get the plant down. Find that final kill. Rivals takes Yumsy off the board, now looking towards the top of the red as it's just going to start to collapse from the bottom, from the top. Shots from everywhere. Run pulls out the shotgun, but it's going to do him no good. Spiff's going to bring out the pistol, and we're looking at a pistol pop body drop round 4 to Orgless.
7-2 victory to the Ex-QoR team. Orgless picks up a huge win here in round 4. I wouldn't say it was, certainly not unexpected. They were definitely the underdogs coming in. Mist was looking for a way to show up and show out, and they had a couple good rounds, but certainly not enough to try and find a victory here today. So they've got their work cut out for them. Got a little bit of VOD to work on, to read up on this core team, because they're certainly going to be one of the tops. And because a couple of these teams forfeiting, certainly it looks like Mist is going to make it into that single elimination tournament that happens with the top 6. So they're going to face one of these teams that has dominated so far later on. So they got their work cut out for them, but their road is not over yet, nor is the seasonal series. We got 2 more weekends of double round robin play before we're done there.
That's a mouthful, huh?
Yes, it is, sir.
Oh, well, unfortunate that we're done with it so early. Sorry we couldn't bring you guys that first game. Sorry forfeits, but out of our control, obviously. Hope to bring you some more and maybe a little bit more consistently next weekend as the teams start to really try to lock in towards the end of this double round robin. If you want some more Siege, there's plenty of places to find it, my friends. Check us out on Twitter. We're active. We're talking Siege. We're looking at your clips. We're guessing your rank. I'm at glitter_whiskey. He's at racing ENGR, and together we are the Siege Double Shot. You can jump in the Discord at discord.gg/doubleshot if you want to come play some rounds with us. We're always going in there. And little known whiskey fact, we also play other games as well, and Whiskey Run happens to be a Fortnite demon. So
Yeah.
So, come in, play some games. We got a great community in here, and we just love hanging out with you and hearing your Siege stories. I've got a new single out. Go check it out on Spotify, any of the streaming platforms. You've heard it on the stream before. It's called Caffeine. It's the working man's lament. We appreciate the support, the subs, the follows. Run. We made it to 7,000.
Yes.
We made it to 7,000.
Yes, let's go. 7,000 followers on between last night and tonight. That roller elite tourney Saturday that we got to do last night, and then the Ubisoft seasonal series today. And big thanks there to Sino and Lucy for coming over, rating the channel at the end. And yeah, you said it. It's already over. It was a 7-2 victory for Orgless. They really dominated Mist here in their second game of the day. Orgless had a lot of time to just watch them play, watch that strat as they got ready for their single game. So it's over already, though. I would love to see another round or two. Might have made this double round robin a little bit quicker, a little bit easier. So improvement coming for next time.
Yep, and plenty of odd for it. Okay, chat. Well, unfortunately, the dreaded part of the evening where, alas, bid you adieu. So as the lights start to dim and the jukebox starts to sing closing time, as always, my friends, you don't have to go home.
But you can't stay here.
Ayo.
Let's go.